Right, the Premier League returns this week following the international break. And there are a lot of reports, Joe, circulating that Erling Haaland potentially following in Pep Guardiola's team by signing another contract at Man City, which did get us thinking. Big news about Pep, isn't it? Man City fans delighted about that, by the way. But it did get us thinking about the quality of strikers and the best Premier League strikers right now.
Yeah.
There's some standout performances so far.
Absolutely. Some really, really good number 9s in the Premier League right now. So today, Jimbo's got the difficult task of picking his 10 best Premier League strikers right now. Now, Jimbo...
Not as simple as that, isn't it?
Now, Joe, you're not happy, are you, some of these picks?
I don't know. I'm waiting for Jimbo's explanation on some of these. Because I think, you know, how have you done this, Jimbo? You want to talk to us?
What the remit I was given was it was based on kind of form this season, but also you're trying to kind of rank them from 10th to 1st in terms of who's the best. So it's a bit of a mega mix. As I said to Smithy before, it's the streams and the sales together, and then a little bit of James Allcott's gut.
Okay,
I like that. Good metaphor.
Yeah.
Couple of players you want to mention before we get into it?
Yeah, so you're not happy with my first pick. So maybe we kind of put them all together.
I think he should be in there, your first pick. But
so my first pick...
Who's your number? So it's in reverse order, by the way.
Sorry, in 10th spot.
Best, culminating the best.
In 10th spot, we've got Johan Visser. Now, it was very, very close.
And an assist.
7 goals in 6.390 as well. So more than a goal per 90. I was watching his goals, and look, the reason I've put him in here, we've got 2 others here, Liam Delap, and you've got Mbuemo as well. Last minute change.
Who don't make the list.
Liam Delap's not in your top 10 on current form.
OK, so Liam Delap, first of all, we've got 2 Brentford players in the sort of top 5 or so goal scorers in the league this year. So what? I'm not going to put one in? Yes, I am.
Just for context, Mbuemo 8 goals and an assist. Visser 7 goals and 1 assist. Visser best shot conversion this season. So they're both having an amazing season. But you're only picking one Brentford player, just to...
Yes. So Mbuemo's not in. Because he plays on the right more so. Johan Visser is severely underrated.
Yeah, he is.
In terms of shots on target, he scores 78% of his shots on target.
Crazy.
OK? When he has a shot in general, he scores 47% of the time. OK? Who's that better than?
Liam Delap.
Visser scored 7 goals.
And he scores...
It's the best shot conversion in the league. I don't think... I'm not going to sit there and deny that. I think Visser's an absolutely fabulous player. I think they should both be in there.
I agree.
But we're going to come on to see where...
I know, do you know what?
This is out and who he misses
7 goals from 15 shots, Johan Visser. I agree. I think Visser could be high, and I think Delap could be in. Personally.
Yeah, and look, I think Delap's kind of got a lot. Watch out, Visser might even kind of lose his place in the team soon. Thiago's on his way back, and he's a bit more complete, Delap. But Johan Visser I think with the goals he scores, the kinds of goals he scores, I think he needed to be on there.
Let's come to Abz there. Where do you stand on the Visser, Mbuemo, Delap? Because obviously...
I think James raised a good point about Brentford, and I think it's been stated how many times how Ivan Toney was out for so long, and they looked at Ivan Toney for everything. He was Mr. Brentford, and without him, the way that Visser and Mbuemo have stepped up is brilliant. I understand Joe's frustrations about Liam Delap, who is obviously a promising young striker as well, who arguably, as we see throughout James' list, maybe we'll see if Liam Delap can get over some.
I think we need to see a little bit more from Liam
I agree.
Delap.
I do agree.
6 goals, 1 assist.
He's the top scorer in under 21.
Just misses out.
He's the top scorer in under 21 player in Europe in league play, Liam Delap. I think he scored more league goals than Lamine Yamal. Now, I don't want to throw it in there.
And
just checking out
his goals minutes ratio as well for Liam Delap. Anyway,
let's come on to 9, though.
OK. I think this is correct, is it? Kai Havertz, I've got in 9th, I think. Yes, I have. Look, I think he started the season off really well, and I think he will be... I think he'll do well this year. I think he'll score 15 goals plus. I think the thing I'm struggling with him is that with Odegaard going out, they couldn't he then had to become this sort of sacrificial striker for Saka. And what I would want from my striker is for the team to be able to go, well, let's rely on you. Yeah. And I feel like there's just maybe not enough nastiness there. Maybe he's not been totally able to sort of knock down that role. But as I say, I think the goals will start to come back now. 7 goals so far.
Do you buy into that mixed narrative? Because some people say Arsenal have to sign a 20-goal-a-season striker. There's also, I'd say, a 50-50 split of people that say, no, his all-round play of bringing other players in, the volume of goals he scored playing as a number 9, discounts that, like, which side of the fence do you come down? Do they need one?
They need we always said they need an attacker.
Do you think they do?
I think they need a left winger because I think Havertz is Arteta's man. And the reason for that is because how much, like different situations, tactical setups that they have, if they are in a low block and they need to get out, Havertz has done really well against centre-halves. Yeah. Even from last season, he's done really well holding that ball up high up the pitch. I understand what James is saying with the lack of nastiness, but as a number 9, he has kind of transformed his game to be a bit more combative.
You said that they do need to sign a striker.
No, I think they need to sign a left winger. If the next signing that gets Arsenal to the next level for me is improving on that left wing and having that front three of Havertz and Isak and completing it.
And maybe I'm wrong with the nastiness. It's more like that selfishness that you see.
Okay, yeah.
You know, to go back to Liam Delap, I do see that in his eyes. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm here to score goals. That's what I want to be. And I feel like Kai Havertz, we don't always see that as talented as he is.
What about the next then?
Number 8.
Ready, Joe? Darwin Núñez. I'm not going to do the song.
This season.
On my channel. Look, the Premier League is a better place for Darwin Núñez. Okay, there's certain people that when they're within the league, the name that comes to mind, someone like a Jose Mourinho. Sometimes you kind of go, oh, you know, you're being a bit negative. I'm struggling with you a bit now. But as soon as he goes, you're devastated. I want to watch games with Darwin.
Has he been better though? I know you want to watch him. If this was an entertainment list, I would certainly have him high. But is he better than Jota even at Liverpool? Like,
I think that's a fair point.
In the number 9 role?
Imagine those two together. That is just a frightening concept. Because in terms of points per match, they're very high anyway, but really high when Darwin Núñez plays. Salah said he's praised him very, very highly, and obviously he's a teammate. I get that. I think he's got pretty much everything. I think it's just that general maturing that needs to come. I just think he's great fun to watch.
He is, there's no denying that.
And if I'm picking a team, I think that's what bumped him above Kai Havertz, is I want to watch Darwin Núñez.
I think Arsenal fans will be stressed.
No, and I get that.
When you're doing it obviously on this season, and I can understand a lot of what you're saying, mate, but Darwin Núñez, if you look at his numbers, 2 goals, 1 assist. Visser's got 7 goals and an assist, but he's above Visser in your list.
So in my mega mix, Smithy, what I'm adding to this here is I think Johan Visser, Brentford are playing very attacking, which is really good fun, but they're kind of conceding goals from that. And that part of that is because you haven't got an Ivan Toney or Thiago when he comes back to have that bit of physicality in terms of the hold-up play, link play. We're going to get to your boy in a second, and those things are important. And I think Darwin Núñez has a lot of those things, and he's a pressing.
Let's get to him now. Dom.
I really like Dominic Solanke.
Yeah, I do.
I've been rooting for him from early Championship days. Nabeid, if you're watching, Nabeid knows I've always had a thing with Nabeid about Dominic Solanke, and he's not been sure, but I've always been sure about Dominic Solanke. I think he's an incredible fit for Ange, for that system. He is a pressing monster as well, and I think the goals are absolutely going to come, because a few haven't gone in. I see with him a bit like Ollie Watkins as the years progress, him just being more and more certain of himself as a striker, which is really, really important. And I think he's a very, very complete forward, intelligent in his hold-up play as well.
I think that's a really good point, actually, because obviously, as a Spurs fan, I think a lot of times it's very easy. I've just quoted goals there, but there are other metrics to a striker, and actually his all-round play and how he brings others into play, I think, is a really key factor. And obviously, goals is how all strikers get judged, right? But there's very interesting quotes at the start of the season when Andrew was asked about being linked with Solanke and Toney, and he said that Solanke was the player that he wanted because of everything else that he offers, his all-round game. Do you see that with Solanke? It's
100%.
Not just about goals, but what else he does for the team.
I completely see it. And seeing, for example, someone like Kulusevski this season, who has definitely been helped, who's been ridiculous, one of the players this season. Yeah. Helped by Solanke. And I look at the shape with the 2 fullbacks inverting with Spurs and the 2 wide players there. There's a lot of onus in keeping that ball centrally. And with Maddison and Kulusevski close to him, he is a player that understands that the dynamics so well. Also understands the dynamics of finding that wingers all the time in behind as well. His weight of passes has impressed me this season. His passing range has impressed me as well this season. So
it's
brilliant.
It's a great time to talk about this, because I think that number 9 that can run the channels and hold it up, that complete number 9, I think it's coming back a little bit.
I agree.
And so with those players, that's why Visser, like the goals and the finishing, outrageous, but not the total package.
Okay.
And that's a short king saying that. So
Speaking of players on form,
the total packages.
And also players on form.
Wells.
Great shout. I mean,
that guy Welbs. I love Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I love how slowly you said that sentence.
He's I'm sort of delighted for him, because I think he's had to go through a lot in his career. He is so important to Brighton, so intelligent. Again, when we're talking about the different things that you can do, can you run the channels, can you link up play, and the very, I guess, kind of new way maybe that Brighton are playing. The goal against Man City, for example, Matt O'Reilly, Danny Welbeck won't get an assist there, but the starting point of it is him having brilliant hold-up play, technically being fantastic, being in the right spot and laying off a quick pass to João Pedro, who's then able to play him in. So he's often kind of the pass before the pass. He's 34. He should be in England squads, but maybe it is times, it's a little bit too late for him now. And I just think he's having an incredible time. I think he's amazing.
He's got 6 goals, 2 assists. He last scored more Premier League goals in the season 2013-14, which goes to show your point that he's probably not a player that will get 20 goals, but it's everything else that he does for the team, which is
for sure
very funny. Now, I've got to ask who's 5, because I cannot believe, Jimbo, with your knowledge of Premier League football, that this is so low.
How
Chris
is he
Wood.
not 1 or 2, Jimbo?
How is he so low? He's been brilliant.
What it comes down to is, when we're talking about the total package,
8 goals.
There's a lack of pace there.
8 goals.
8 goals, absolutely. What's it? The stats amazing. Since December 2023, his conversion rate is 33%, which is incredible. Which is the best of any Premier League player. And the little micro movements of him are really, really brilliant in terms of using his strength to then get himself a yard and get himself a goal.
All good.
The reason the reason he's 5 is when I'm then looking at all these other players, I find myself going, and I do this a lot, I know, if it's a final tomorrow, I can't play Chris ahead of these other players that we're going to talk about. And he is running hot, and that's what great players do, and he has been doing it for a long time, but surely it has to calm down.
He always scores double figures in goals.
Yeah.
He's had an incredible career.
Your thoughts, Abz, on
I recently found out he's almost got 80 Premier League goals. He might be in the 100 club if he keeps going for a couple of seasons. But it's a tough list. But if we're talking so far, this is too low for me. But when you're asking about the best players, you have to do an amalgamation of so many different things. So I do understand, and I do sympathise with Jim. Right. But I think I do think Chris Wood is too low.
Friends, yeah.
4.
He's lucky he's my mate. Knows you might need me.
4.
OK, Ollie Watkins. Tricky one. And this is one where I'm like, I can't do that.
Can't rationalise.
The reason I've put him...
Do you not think you can rationalise that this season? Chris Wood, this season, is having a better campaign.
100, I completely agree.
So far.
But 100, so far, and that is the question. But then you also say top 10 strikers. So if you're saying top 10, are you saying Wood is better than Watkins?
This is the stunning nuance that will get lost on Twitter, but can be found on your YouTube channel, which you can go and enjoy the whole episode. I think the thing with him is... Also, I was looking into his stats. Yes, he's missed more chances this year. I think maybe he's also not getting much help from the midfield around him. Last year, Leon Bailey was in great form. But, Douglas Luiz was scoring goals. Other players were scoring goals. So a lot of the burden's on him. The other thing to remember is that he's got 5 goals from 9 90s. So although it is 11 games, he's coming off after about 60 minutes each time. So he's not getting the full game.
But is that not because of this man, Jimbo?
Yeah, John Duran.
Who's not in your top 10.
Yeah.
Can't get in the starting 11 for Aston Villa.
Best minutes per goal ratio of any player this season in the Premier League.
He doesn't start for Villa. Yeah.
I know he doesn't, but
4 goals.
It's undeniable he's having a good season, even though he's not starting.
For sure.
Yeah, no, he is. He's doing very well.
He's having a better season than Darwin Núñez.
He doesn't start for his club.
Neither does Darwin.
Darwin's starting for his club right now.
Darwin started 4 Premier League games this season.
John Duran, I know we've had this discussion. You heavily believe in John Duran.
I do.
I'm not that sure. I think he kind of goes for it. He definitely has that striker energy.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we're giving up on Ollie Watkins here.
No, I think he's a fabulous
player. He's got 10+ goals every year he's been at Aston Villa. Yeah. He's incredibly intelligent, can run the channels, could play left wing if you needed him to. I think you're being disrespectful to Ollie Watkins.
I would have him in my top 10 as well.
Okay.
But I think John Duran would be in mine. But this is not my list, this is your list.
Where would you have John Duran?
Oh, he's pretty on the spot now.
He'd be where Darwin is, potentially.
So you had a better season.
So you're not having Darwin Núñez?
I thought you had Liam Delap.
Liverpool fans, get him.
Watch the Liverpool fans. They're not going to be happy with that. Top 3.
One you can get.
Nicolas Jackson.
Interesting. Now, this might be a bit punchy for some. What I'm hoping is that... Look, I think he contributes to everything for this Chelsea side. I think with the next set of games coming up, I think this will age well. And I think at 23, he's getting better and better. His conversion rate has gone up to about 24%, which is much better than it was. I think it was about 14%. I think he was struggling in that first season in the Premier League, which we've seen with so many players on this list. He scored some big goals in big games recently.
I think he's underrated now.
I think he is.
From I think
he's got a good ceiling as well.
There was a few errors.
But I think we see this with players where you know, he's 23, so it's going to take a second to totally feel it out. Also, when the team's playing better and they're creating more chances, which they will do, and you've got someone like Cole Palmer with you, I think he's going to score goals. And I think he'll get a lot of lovely little tap-ins on transition as well.
Let's talk about Nicolas Jackson, because he is a player that a lot of people are very vocal about on social. What do you think in terms of numbers he'll put up this year in terms of goals when the season ends?
A main thing, before I answer directly the amount of goals, I think a big change in the system has been Cole Palmer finding himself on that left-hand side. And I think that has disrupted their chemistry a little, because he has struggled in the last couple of games I've been watching Chelsea. So if they find a solution for that and maybe bringing Cole Palmer more to the right half space, that could strike up the relationship again. He's someone who could hit double-digit goals. Like, it was underrated how many goals he got last season. You look at it and you don't expect him to get that many goals based on the performance. Insanely underrated player. We talk about helping the team.
Right now? Sorry.
Nicolas Jackson, go on.
Nicolas Jackson,
he's got
6 goals.
in the Prem.
I think by February he'll be on 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's a fantastic striker. I think the first 6 months where he missed a few chances almost gave him a false reputation, and in some instances people sort of meme him a little bit.
Yeah. Success isn't linear.
I actually think he's
in brilliant football.
Turned it around totally. Number 2 then, Jimbo.
Second best striker in the league right now for you.
And it's tighter than you think. Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
He's on form now, isn't he? He's found
really lucky.
I think the one question mark was, you know, can he stay fit? And then once he is fit, is he scoring regularly? And I think he's got great frame about him. I think he's got good pace. And again, we're talking about these guys, you know, 6 foot plus strikers. You're kind of needing that as your number 9. But if you can have someone who's complete enough to get involved, drift out wide, run with the ball, get in the box, great header he scored against Arsenal, which you love to see those kind of goals as well. That's what proper strikers do, and they don't hesitate or overthink what they're doing in terms of that goal scoring. I think he's quite similar to Watkins. I think he's got, again, we're talking about kind of that sort of selfishness, that sort of striker's mentality. I think he's had to work on it, which he should be commended for. I think Isak just naturally has it.
Yeah,
he's
such a complete striker.
It's the best word to use. We talk about whether strikers, should they be good footballers and bring other people into play, or are you going to be that guy who gets you the goals?
Yeah.
There's the combination of both.
There's been a lot of chat with him and Arsenal. And I think, again, to the Kai Havertz point, if Isak is in that team over the last few weeks, I think they would have probably played. They would have been looking to get you in the box and get him goals. I think they would have played differently. Good point.
Let's reveal your best striker in the Premier League right now, based on current form.
Who could it be?
Rasmus Haaland.
Mikel Antonio. And I love Mikel Antonio, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Erling Haaland is the obvious choice. I think, do you know what I was thinking when I was thinking about him? I do miss Dortmund Haaland. You don't really see
transition Haaland.
Haaland, go on, put it in behind and look at him like just be a bit of a beast in that sense. But it might have been Cam's. I mean, my friend Kweku, who said about he's the Shaquille O'Neal of strikers. He's so dominant in the box. The amount of touches he has in the box is absurd. Obviously playing for the best team, so that will help. But you're also putting the ball in there because he's so dominant as well. Top scorer in the league.
He's got 4 more goals than any other player in the league, but only in November. I mean,
and he's in a bad run, isn't he?
A little bit of a dry spell at the moment, though, isn't it?
I wouldn't worry about
it. Sort of stay humble.
Patting on Nicolas Jackson's back.
Abz, just get your summary of that, your thoughts on it. What changes did you make in terms of movement of the players that are there or players that aren't there?
It's obviously so tough. There has been, obviously, someone might hear the way that James said it and said, oh, wait, he said this for this person, not for the other person, but it is a tough question to ask. He wouldn't be in my list. Darwin Núñez wouldn't be in my list as well. Wissa would be a bit higher up. I think Havertz would be too. Chris Wood, I think, is a crime being at 5. Just because on form.
So hang on, everyone's going up. Who's coming out? Who's coming out? Got one change. You can only make one change.
One person. Okay, one change I would do is Darwin Núñez out.
That's fair.
And I'd put in Liam Delap.
OK, we mentioned Liam Delap. There is the thoughts of James Allcott's top 10 strikers in the Premier League right now. Let us know. I'm sure you will let us know what you think of that at home. As always, I enjoyed it.